We've had our fair share of judgment, like when we started back in the day. We were this kind of like oddball. We were too poppy for some metal festivals. At the same time, we were too heavy for some pop festivals. Somebody tried to insult us. They called us the Backstreet Boys of the metal scene, and it was meant as an insult, but we were like, damn right we are. And we've kind of like we turned that into our strength, and we kept doing it for 10 years now, and now things are going pretty well.
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy at Ghost Cult Mag, and I am here with the guys from Blind Channel, Niko and Joel. How are you doing today?
Awesome.
Super nice.
It is today on the west coast of America, but it's actually evening in Finland, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's evening and it's very dark and it's very cold.
yeah.
It's a little dark and cold here also. I know everybody thinks of California as very sunshiny, like the Barbie movie, but it's actually this is our winter also. It's a little gray and a lot of rain. No snow though, which is too bad, but all good. We're super stoked to talk to you guys. This is a little bit ahead of your new album, Exit Emotions, on Century Media, coming out March 1st. The fifth album for you guys. So, you guys have been at this a long time, but for our fans who are not familiar with the band, if you want to give us the comic book origin story number one of Blind Channel, what would that look like?
We are started on 2013. We were in high school in northern Finland, and we had an idea that we could start a band that could take over the world, just like him, Jerome Bottom, all of those big Finnish bands back in 2000. So yeah, we kind of wanted to follow that path, and so we started the band, and now we're here touring America, touring Europe, and releasing our fifth studio album. So yeah, that's Blind Channel.
Nicely done. It's usually never that short a story. I really appreciate that. That's great.
Well, yeah.
Finland is always like the absolute capital of metal. I love that you shouted out two of our favorite bands. Also, we did a huge interview with Ville for his solo record last year, so we're big fans of him, and of course, Children of Bodom was a huge band. We really one of the first bands we ever interviewed and covered here when we were just a little magazine and a webzine in Europe. We started in Europe, and then I came in. But yeah, Blind Channel, you guys have been at this a long time, so nothing new for you. I love that Exit Emotions is very like deep, sprawling album that really shows all of your talents. I know the band is a self-described new metal boy band, which I personally love. I think that's amazing. It does kind of make sense. There's singing, there's rapping, it's catchy, there's hooks, but it's heavy. It really kind of sums up the whole band, and you guys embrace it. It's not like a self-depreciating dig at yourself. It's for real.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Right on. Listen, we're a lot of us are like all day long at the club with the arms in the back of the room judging. All kinds of underground metal and stuff like that is like, I don't know if I like this, but I think we've seen from like Electric Callboy and other bands, you can just have fun. You can just have fun. You don't have to be serious all the time. Life is a whole bunch of feelings and events and moments, and it's not all grim and true and culty.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you totally. Yeah, that's how it
Yeah,
goes with.
I think we've had our fair share of judgment, like when we started back in the day. We were this kind of like oddball. We were too poppy for some metal festivals. At the same time, we were too heavy for some pop festivals. And I think like it was just around when we started, when somebody tried to insult us. They called us the Backstreet Boys of the metal scene, and it was meant as an insult, but we were like, damn fucking right we are. Then we are Backstreet Boys of the metal scene. And we've kind of like we turned that into our strength, and we kept doing it for 10 years now, and now things are going pretty well, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. So yeah, fairy tale.
Exactly, I love it. And people picked on Children of Bodom when they covered Britney Spears, and then they played that song and everybody loved it. And whenever that song comes on in the bar, people are like, "Oh yeah, I love this," so.
Yeah.
Everybody has to just take a step back sometimes and just appreciate a thing for what it is. You guys are awesome, and this is a fun record more than anything else. It's heavy, like I said, a lot of feelings all over the map. but like I love how heavy this thing is. If you like sick breakdowns, if you love huge choruses, if you like great riffs, you guys have all that. And also, I think there's this great electronic element in your band also that I don't think a lot of other bands have. That's natural, I think, because of who's in the band. Talk a little bit about that. When you guys go to write songs, is it anything is possible, or is it like each one of you maybe may come in with a part of a song? How do you guys start the process of writing a song?
It depends a lot. Many times there's like one idea. It can be from me or from Niko or from Joonas or whoever, and then we just kind of crap into the idea, and it's like a boxing ring where the 6 guys are like smashing each other and trying to find out the perfect way, the red line, how we build the whole song together. And yeah, like you said, we have the electronic vibe in the songs, and I guess a lot of that is because of Alex, who joined the band 4 years ago. And Alex was like a huge DJ in Finland and also like in Scandinavia in total. And so yeah, the influence is pretty natural when he is making the production for the songs. Do you have anything to add for that? I guess you have, but yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, the songwriting, it can be pretty chaotic. Like there's 6 members, and it's usually at least 4 of us in the studio when we make the new songs. I mean, all of us have like we have these areas that we usually do. Like Aleksi handles the production. I'm usually like in charge of the lyrics. And it's been like lyrics have been pretty like we're still writing about the same things that when we started. Like we usually write songs about the things that piss us off, like things that make us angry. It's kind of like this. Everything that frustrates us, we turn those things into songs. But usually, like yeah, especially production or songwriting wise, we want to surprise people, and we usually like start with surprising ourselves. That when we have like this idea of a song, we want to do something surprising. It doesn't have to be a big thing or a big deal, but something like to rattle the cage. And we don't like genres or boundaries and stuff like that when songwriting. We just want to like create something new and surprise ourselves. That's how we always start.
Right on. I love hearing about that because, you know, if you're not excited yourself about the music you're making, why keep doing it? The business is hard enough, right? The music industry is tough. I always say it's the music business, not the music friendship, unfortunately, but like if you can do it with your friends, that's the best. I know you guys worked with a crew of producers, engineers, and mixers that are well known, so I wanted to ask if they brought anything new or different to the process for this album that wasn't the case on the last 4.
They totally did. Like we wrote the previous album. We wrote that like just with the band because Aleksi, our DJ percussions guy, joined the band. He's an amazing DJ and a producer. So we did the previous album like just with the band, just to test the new chemistry and find the way to work in the studio together. But we really wanted to make like an international sounding record, and that's why we left Finland. We went to Berlin, to London, and eventually to Los Angeles to work with different producers and songwriters and sound engineers, all that, just to like, we don't want to be stuck in our own ways, if you know what I'm saying. Like we want to grow as artists, as songwriters, as performers. We want to evolve, and I think evolution always needs like we need to find something outside the box, and that's what we did with this album.
Nice work. The credits of the production team speak for itself. We're gonna link everything in the description. A little story about you guys, all the links where people can buy and jam out the music and stream it and buy it and all the things. Before we dive into the track by track and just talk a little bit about the album in a little more depth, I did want to shout out the guests on this album are insane. One that American fans may not know too well, but surely another name that is just like one of the biggest bands in the world. So I wanted to have you guys talk a little bit about these guest stars.
Yeah. I guess you were saying about From Ashes to New, and yeah, it's a big thing for us for sure. I mean, they are killing it right now in America. They are probably one of the biggest metal bands in the whole country right now. So to have them in for that one track, it means a lot. It's like, it means everything to us, and we're super stoked to release the track. And also the other feature, Rory from UK, she's doing super great in UK. She's selling out a lot of clubs, and the hype is there. She's played on BBC all the time. So yeah, we have really good international features for this album, and it means a lot for us. totally.
Right on. I think she's on Die Another Day, right? It's so good.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing how good that song is. Probably my favorite song. I'm not supposed to say I have favorites, but that's my favorite song on the record. And
Thank you.
I don't listen to anybody else. We just do what we want here. And gonna be
You
12 gonna be
sound a
12
lot
years.
like us. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I hope
Yeah.
I'm channeling the good spirit of you guys. So
Blind
let's
channeling.
blind channeling. There it is. Like no pun intended, but then there it is. So yeah, let's dive into the record a little bit. Obviously, it opens with an absolute banger. Where's the Exit? That's the first song on the record.
Yeah, and Where's the Exit is also like it's a big deal when we started like thinking about the writing process of the whole album. Like we knew that we needed to find something new, and the whole album idea started like we were in Berlin and we saw this like very dangerous looking club. There was like red lights flashing and people partying, and we were like, those guys are having a good time, but it's at the same time it feels a bit dangerous. And we wanted to like combine that world with the mosh pits and wall of deaths and headbanging, that club world. And so we started like testing. We made a lot of songs, a lot of demos. And one of them, like one idea, a concept for a song was we were listening to this song called Greyhound from Swedish House Mafia. It's a great song, and we were thinking like, how would that song sound with an electric guitar, like really heavy guitar? And the riff came like that's how the riff was made. And then we knew that we had found the sound we were looking for this album. And then thematically we have been like we had the idea of a song called Where's the Exit for a long time, because it seems like in today's world a lot of people are like looking for an exit. They're going through bad shit, bad emotions, like bad things happening. Maybe someone's having a bad year and they ask themselves, where's the exit? Like that's what we've asked ourselves a couple of times when things looked really grim. And that kind of became the groundwork of the whole album, like thematically but also like production wise.
Yeah, perfect answer. The tech house EDM vibe with electronic guitars is something that we've been trying to capture for a long time. And with this particular song, I think we found the perfect spot how to capture the Berlin tech house EDM vibe to the rock. So yeah, you got it right.
Nice work. I had written in my notes. I don't know if you guys are fans of Enter Shikari from the UK.
Oh yeah.
And they did a
Fuck
whole.
yeah.
They usually do like an album and a remix and an album and a remix, and it reminded me of the Hospital remixes they did like 3-4 years ago. That opening, right? That backing sequence track and then the riffs. I loved it. So it's a compliment.
It's one of my favorite bands, Enter Shikari, one of my favorite bands like of all time. And actually I think it was the first band we ever like supported. They came to
Yeah.
do a show in Finland and we were the support act. Yeah.
10 years ago in Helsinki.
Yeah. Nice. We need to make that tour happen for 2024. They have a new record
Yeah,
coming
we're
out
super
too.
down.
Yeah.
We'll just put it into the universe. Like maybe it'll happen. The second track on the record is Dead Zone. I love these names.
Yeah, Dead Zone it was a big deal for us if we're talking about America, because that was the first song that really went to like super high on the Billboard and Active Rock. I think it's right now 28, and it's the highest peak for us ever, and it's been there for I think 12 weeks or something like that. So we're totally making it right now, and I guess that song will be marked in the history, the first actual single release in America for Blind Channel, and that means a lot. But if we talk about the song, it all started with this guy named Johnny Andrews. We were in LA. He came to our house. We had this rental house where we were just writing songs in the basement. So he came to the session. I think it was an afternoon or something like that. And he was like, "Okay, guys, cool to meet you. I have this track called Dead Zone." It wasn't ready, but it was like the chorus melody and some lyrics and something like that, and the riff. And we were like, "Holy shit, this sounds so fucking dope." And also because we knew that the guy was working previously with 3 Days Grace, Motionlessly White, Apocalyptica, Hailstorm, all of those big names. So for sure we had this little fanboy event for him. But on the same time, the track was so fucking dope that we were like, okay, take our money. We want the song. For sure. yeah. So yeah, that's how it started for that song.
Nice, killer stuff. Thank you so much for sharing about that. The next track is Wolves in California. I know a bit about that.
Yeah, Wolves in California. We had already done like our first tour in the US, and then we were in LA in Los Angeles. We were in the Hollywood. We had this cool studio at the Hollywood Hills, and we were doing a lot of like sessions with the local songwriters. And Jason from Fever 333 came to the studio. We had booked a session with him, and like we took an Instagram photo earlier that trip, and Joel posted it on Instagram, and the caption was "Wolves in California," and we thought that would make a cool song title because we learned that there are no wolves in California. Where we are from northern Finland, where it's cold and dark all the time, there are a lot of wolves. And then it felt like a cool joke that we are the wolves who came to California. And then we just kind of started talking about, on the song, we're talking about our experiences in the US, like these 6 dudes from Finland, from far away from the darkness and the snow, are all of a sudden we're in the sunny beach in the California, and everything's going crazy. And the song turned out great. It's gonna be a live banger. And also like there's a lot of like hype about Finland and that song, which was surprising. Like we're constantly remembering our roots in that song. My favorite line on the whole album, favorite lyric, is from Wolves in California, and the lyric goes, "The night is darkest just before the dawn, but where I'm from, the sun don't rise at all." And that's a fact. That's in Finland.
That is so cool. You know, no notes, perfect. And Jason's super cool. I've met him a few times. He's been really, really super nice to us. The next track is XOXO, Hugs and Kisses, for people that don't know. That's what Hugs and Kisses are, when somebody writes you a love note.
Yeah, that's I think the main thing is that we have From Ashes to New on that track, and it means a lot. And also there's a lot of vocals from Matt and Danny, and they played a huge role for that song. So yeah, I think about the songwriting, I'm not the right person to talk about that. So Niko, can you take over on this one?
Yeah, or it was actually like we were on tour and we were just going through all the songs from the album. Like we wrote over 50 songs for to choose to make this album, and we were like there would be room for one more song. It was one of the last ones made, and it was actually my brother sent me a demo called XOXO. It was my brother who had made a demo, and he said that this would be a cool blind channel song, and I was like, can me and Alex take over? Me and Alex had to book a hotel on the tour to make to the hotel and turn the hotel room into a studio to make like a quick demo that we presented to the guys. The guys loved it, and then together we came up with the idea that we're still missing a second verse and some parts. We should ask From Ashes to New guys to be a part of this, and we sent it to them, and they said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And that's how the song came to be.
That's awesome. I like that spirit of collaboration, that anything is possible. The next track on the record is Keeping It Surreal, which I love that name also.
This happened in London. We were writing with Dan Lancaster. I think people know him from that. He is been working with Muse and Bring Me the Horizon and Blink-182 and all of those big names. So we went to London. It was, I think, November 2022, and we had like 3 days of writing with Dan and Rory. She came to the sessions as well. So I think we wrote that song on the second day. We had this idea, or Niko had this idea of that. Everyone says that let's keep it real, but we were like, hell no, let's keep it surreal. And that was like the main key factor of the whole start of the song and the lyric and all of that. So yeah, it was a cool session. I remember that.
Yeah, it was super cool, and yeah, it was exactly the part, because like people always talk about keeping it real, but like I think the point of like music, or this crazy childhood dream that we're constantly making true, and the point is not about keeping it real or making everything real. It's about keeping life a bit surreal so it stays interesting and exciting. And I had written it down on my phone, and that turned out to be like, I think lyrically and thematically, like I went to like there's very personal stuff like that I wrote in the rap parts of that song. And I also think that Joel did one of his best vocals on that song, because like he and Dan is a singer as well, so they had this weird connection when they were doing the vocals. So I think Joel's vocals sound super good on that song.
Yeah,
Nice.
Dan is super pro, yeah.
Oh, so cool. Those guys are great. The aforementioned song that I love, Die Another Day, is the next track.
Yeah, that's a big deal for sure. I think the raw demo I think Niko, you made the very first lyric and the demo, like the whole idea of the very first idea, if I remember right.
Yeah, I found it from a hard drive. There was just this. It was just like the chorus played on piano, and I think it was called "This World Is Gonna Fuck You Up" demo.
Oh yeah,
and
that was the one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I found it from this hard drive and I brought it to session. Like, guys, listen to this. Like, there's even though it was like a ballad, even almost like a pop song, but
Yeah.
it had this very raw emotional energy. And I like presented it to the guys, like, should we make a blind channel song out of this one? And we did, yeah.
Yeah, it was love at first sight, like absolutely. When I heard the first idea of that song, yeah, and Rory made super great feature for that song. It was the
Yeah,
first
she
female
completed
for
it.
one.
She completed the song, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna link her music also in the interview so people can check her out because I
Cool.
don't think she's very well known here, but she should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
So yeah.
She's so good. The next track is Phobia.
It
Phobia.
was the
So
yeah,
like that was when we met actually Rory for the first time. We were in
yeah,
London and we went to London. We were supposed to have a session with Dan Lancaster and we did, but Dan had invited Rory to be a part of the session, like as a co-writer, and that's when we met her for the first time. Also, like same old stories with Dan with keeping it surreal. Like I had some lyrics on my phone and it wasn't even lyrics, it was just like Blind Channel needs to make a song that title is Phobia. That was like that was what we had to work with. I think Alex had some like weird production, some beat or something that we just started vibing the lyrics and the melodies together. It came together like super quickly. What do you think, Joel?
yeah. All started with the title Phobia, and I think the energy in the room was so high because of Dan and Rory and the whole band. Everyone was like, "Let's write something super dope," and I guess that yeah, the melody and everything came together super fast. Yeah, so yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh, so killer. I love to hear it. Happy Doomsday is the next track.
This is actually pretty old track. I think we wrote it like 2021 or something like that, 3 or 4 years ago. It was still like a COVID time, so there was like a lockdown or something like that. And we went to a rehearsal place just to jam like with guitars and trying to figure out maybe some kind of like hooks or riffs or something like that. And then I guess that we found the panic thing. Like that was the first key for the song. And then we were like, okay, what is panic? What are we panicking for? And Niko said that, well, happy doomsday to you. Like, let's all panic. Like, that was the first idea. If I remember right, you can
I
correct
think
me.
it was actually Joonas, our guitarist, Joonas. Like that was a time like COVID was still a big thing, and it felt like every day we got like every day was another day of bad news. Like it may be career wise, like our tours get canceled, everything got like canceled all the time, and also like pretty sad news about the world. Like very bad stuff was happening, and that was because we couldn't do anything else. We just spent a lot of time in the studio, and we usually started the day by going through the news of the day, which were always like very dark and grim. And then Jonas came to the studio, and we were doing this panic thing. And Jonas like he showed some news about some lockdown or whatever, and he showed it and said like "Happy Doomsday to you." And I was like, that will be actually be a pretty cool title of a
Yeah.
song. That's how it started like building up. Yeah.
Nice one. I love to hear it. The next track, we're almost to the end of the record here. The next track is Red Tail Lights.
This was LA, November 2022 or December. We had a session with the guy called, I think it was, I don't remember. What was the name? You have to correct me. It was Oscar
Reinhardt.
Yeah. So one cool detail is that he's been working with 30 Seconds to Mars for their newest record, and he told us that the place where our house was, the rental house, was super close to Jared Leto's house. So we were like, holy shit, Jared Leto is somewhere up there just hiking and doing cool stuff, and we have the same guy in the studio that works with him. So yeah, that's the only only memory for me, the main key memory of this song. But the song is super dope. I guess it's like well, you have something to say about it. I don't remember that well. I remember this Jared Leto story only.
Uh, Alex once again had this kind of like production of synthesizers and cool stuff, and just the first beat with the synthesizer sounded like it sounded like you're driving in the night. You're in your car, you're listening to that song, and you're driving in the night, and you see the red taillights of the car that's going in front of you. and then we started like building this very kind of like almost a romantic story around that. And it was actually, Joel, I don't know if you remember, but it was actually like you had this weird idea forever. You always, when you got an acoustic guitar, and I mean like 5 years, you would play the guitar and sing the "I don't need your love, but I need your car." You always did that, like for a long time, for many years.
Hey.
And like we didn't have a chorus for this song, and then like I was going through things where to start, and that came to my mind, and I was like, well, we're driving in the dark, and there's this romantic like or heartbroken love story going on, and I was like, this song could fit actually the thing that Joel always singing. And we started the chorus with "I don't need your love, but I need your car," disappear into the
Oh
night
yeah.
like a star. Yeah, that's how it started building up.
I don't remember that, but cool that you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. You get the story somehow. Somebody knows. Somebody somewhere
Yeah.
knows. One of my other favorite tracks on the record, "Not Your Bro."
Oh yeah.
So
This
good.
is like, I think it's the heaviest track on the record. Like the guitars are super low, and there's like a lot of screaming and growling and all of that. So yeah, and the chorus is like, it could be like Britney Spears late '90s era, Max Martin. Like the harmonies and everything are almost like Destiny's Child vibe, and that's what I love about the song. It's on the same time super heavy, but it's still like super like catchy on the chorus and melodies and harmonies. So yeah, there's something like, we call ourselves the Backstreet Boys of the metal scene. So that's about it. Like that song is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, like not sure, bro. That was actually like I want to talk about the heaviness of the whole record, like people, because obviously the heaviness on the record, it came from the fact that we had played so many shows and we wanted to make these songs that would like bang live. So the heaviness came a bit from there, but also like because we're always writing from our own perspective, and we're like taking our emotions and feelings and turning them into music. And I have this like, I think that the feelings that we're going through, the emotions that we go through on this album, the emotions themselves are a lot heavier, and
Yeah.
that's why the overall sound is so heavy. Like "Not Sure Bro" is a true story. Like when we were like kids or teenagers, we were this like very artistic kids, where we were not the most popular kids in the school, and there was a lot of like bullying going on, and like people weren't always like, that's something that connects all of us in the band, that sometimes people could be mean to us when we were kids. And it was crazy that after Dark Side, our most successful song to date, came out, and we had our first like breakthrough in Finland and in Europe, we started getting messages from old friends, like those people that used to be assholes to us in school when we were kids, and they were going on like, "Congratulations, bro, and how you doing, bro? When can we hang out?
Yeah.
Do you remember how great friends we are?" And we were all discussing that, like, because most of us got messages like that, and we were like, that felt so frustrating, like, and then like I wanted to answer that, "I'm not your bro," and then that turned into like the verses of the song and the chorus eventually. Like it was very like very rough stuff, and then we wanted to like really embrace the feeling, the frustration when people used to be assholes are like coming back to you and calling you bro.
Yeah.
"I'm not your fucking bro." That's what we wanted to say with this song.
Right on. I am sorry to hear you were all bullied. That sucks so much, but
Yeah.
good
But
good
it's pretty
on
common.
yeah, of course it's everyone can relate. So that's a good one. Thanks for sharing, but again, sucks you had to live through that, but at least you're on the other side now. The next to last track on the record is Flatline.
Oh yeah, Flatline. This was actually the first song we wrote for this album. It was summer 2022. We just had a show in Wacken Open Air, which is, I guess, the biggest metal festival on the planet. We opened the main stage. There was like 15,000 people jumping for the Dark Side, and we kind of felt that, okay, guys, we are there. The metal audience loves us. We need to create a metal record. We need to like go directly to the metal and alternative rock scene, like on the hot spots. So we had the session in Helsinki with the Berlin-based songwriting duo called Blind. They had a flight to Helsinki. We went to studio and we were like, we need to create something brand new. And they had the idea that we should like collaborate the funk, the funk music. It's like techno with the, you know what I'm talking about. So they had the idea that we should like mix up that music and metal music, and that was the key factor for Flatline. And I guess the ending result is exactly what we were aiming for. At least in my opinion. I'm not sure if it's like that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Very good answer. And like, yeah, Flatline was one of the first ones we wrote. Like, I think Flatline and then the first song on the album, Where's the Exit, they really like set the groundwork. They showed us their direction to where to go with this record. Because like we already knew how to be heavy in a metal way, but like in electronic music, there's also like very cool aspects of heaviness and of danger and of these crazy parties. Like, so we wanted to take the heavy parts in the electronic music world as well. So there's the funk influence, there's this hard style kick going boom, 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 and this super like I remember when we like tuned the guitar so low that it was just and you can't even make out the tone, and it was just crazy. Yeah, Flatline was one of the first ones, and it's a super awesome still to play super awesome song to play live. Yeah,
killer. We can't wait to hear this live, all these songs, as many as you feel like throwing into the set list. You got a lot to choose from now, and of course the album closes with an awesome final closing track, One Last Time Again.
Yeah, that's and that's funny that it's the last track we wrote for the album. So we have Flatline, which was the first track we wrote for the album. Then we have the last track, which is the last track we wrote for the album. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I guess the message is that it's pretty obvious. One last time, again, until again, again, again. It's like that. So it's kind of like, well, I don't have anything to say about the lyric. I mean, I guess we wrote it in spring 2023. We were touring in Europe with Electric Cowboy, and on the breaks we had studio in Helsinki. So I guess that was the era when we wrote that song. If I'm correct, I'm not sure, but yeah, you can continue from here.
No, you're exactly right. And like, we had no idea that One Last Time Again was gonna be the last song on the album. It was just like that last song we wrote, and we already had enough songs to make an album out of. We just went to the studio and tried to have fun and maybe like, yeah, surprise ourselves, do something different. And the end result was something like, it felt like The Weeknd made a song with Bon Jovi, which was like, it was weird, it was cool, and most of all, it was cinematic, it was theatrical. And usually the last songs on our album have been like something like very biographical, or telling a story of us, like where we started and where we are now. But with this one, this is a love story. It's like it's just a dark love story, and I think it sums up the album pretty well, because we're talking about emotions, exit emotions. Everything is about these emotions, and love is the biggest emotion of all. I think so. It felt natural. It wasn't designed to be the last song of the album, but when we got the song ready, I think some of us already said that, guys, we should end the album to this. And it's also a cool thing, because like in the last song you want to say like, or when you play live you want to say, okay, put your fucking hands up one last time, but we're never stopping, and we're still like moving forward and keep going. So we want to say, guys, put your hands up one last time again, because we're gonna do it over and over again.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Great job all around. Just for a final question, I always ask a wild card question at the end, and I kind of always ask the same question. I meet so many awesome bands from Finland, but the question I have for you is not why so many awesome bands come from Finland, but why do the Finnish bands seem to have more fun than every other metal band?
I guess it's the only way to escape this eternal darkness and coldness. Like, it's the only way how we can feel naturally happy. Like, we are that's our DNA, because we are here in the fucking eternal. Well, if you look outside, it's like a trash bag which is closed. So that's the only way we can like go out with our emotions. I guess that's it. Pretty cliche answer, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, there's this Finnish saying that I'm not gonna say now in Finnish because it doesn't make any sense, but it goes like, if we lose the humor, that's it for us.
Yeah.
Well said. We could learn a thing or two from you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And just congratulations on Exit Emotions. This record's a banger, and I can't wait for everybody else to hear it. And we'll see you on the road. Hopefully, get you back, guys. Get back here to the States for some touring, or we cover a lot of shows in Europe too. So we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
Cheers.